Most mechanics will never tell you this, because if they did, they'd make a lot less money off you. 1 in 4 catastrophic engine failure stems directly from oil change mistakes that happen every single day. I've worked in automotive service for over a decade, and today I'm breaking the industry's code of silence on 7 deadly oil change mistakes that could be slowly wrecking your engine right now. Whether you change your own oil or trust a quick lube shop, these 7 mistakes happen more often than you think. Some cause immediate catastrophic failure, others slowly destroy your engine over months, and the repair bills can exceed your car's value. I've seen engines worth $15,000 destroyed by $30 oil changes. By the end of this video, you'll know more about proper oil service than most technicians. Stick around until the end because I'll reveal the $15 upgrade that professional mechanics use on their own vehicles but rarely recommend to customers. Let's start with mistake number 7. Mistake number 7, the cold oil disaster. This first mistake turns routine maintenance into a $4,000 nightmare, and it happens in 60% of quick change shops across America. Last month, a customer drove his 2019 Toyota Camry into our bay with a completely seized engine. Just 47,000 miles on the odometer, yet the motor was destroyed. When we tore it down, the oil pickup tube was completely clogged with thick black sludge that looked like chocolate pudding. Here's what happened. For 3 years, he'd been getting oil changes at a popular chain during his lunch break. They were fast, cheap, and convenient. But every single time, they drained cold oil from his engine. When oil is cold, its viscosity increases by 300 to 500%. Think of it like trying to pour honey versus water. That thick, cold oil doesn't drain properly, leaving up to 15% of contaminated oil sitting in your engine's lowest points. The oil pan, pickup tube, and internal passages all retain that old, dirty oil. Every oil change, that old contaminated oil mixed with the fresh stuff. Month after month, year after year, microscopic particles and combustion byproducts built up like sediment in a riverbed. Eventually, that sludge completely blocked the pickup tube, starving the engine of oil at highway speeds. The proper procedure takes just 5 extra minutes. Warm your engine to operating temperature. That's when your temperature gauge reaches the middle position. Hot oil flows like water, carrying away 85% more contaminants than cold drainage ever could. But quick lube shops don't want you to wait 5 minutes. Time is money, and those extra minutes mean fewer customers per day. So they drain cold oil, leave contamination behind, and slowly destroy your engine 1 oil change at a time. If you're changing your own oil, always warm the engine first. If you use a quick lube shop, arrive with a warm engine or ask them to warm it up. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, it might cost a few dollars more, but it could save you thousands in engine replacement costs. Mistake number 6, the double gasket death trap. Mistake number 6 can destroy your engine in under 90 seconds, and even experienced technicians fall victim to this deadly oversight. 2 years ago, one of our most experienced techs was having a particularly busy Friday afternoon. Rush, job after rush job, customers waiting, phones ringing. He was installing a new oil filter on a customer's BMW 340i when his mind wandered for just a moment. The customer pulled out of our bay, made it exactly 2 city blocks, and the engine seized completely on the main road. Steam poured from under the hood as every drop of oil dumped onto the asphalt in less than a minute. What happened was double gasket installation, the deadliest oil change mistake of all. Here's the scenario. When you remove an old oil filter, a rubber gasket should come off with it. But sometimes, especially on filters that have been on for extended periods, that old gasket sticks to the engine's filter mounting surface. It looks clean, it's out of the way, and in the rush of a busy day, it's easy to miss. When you install the new filter, which comes with its own fresh gasket, you now have 2 rubber gaskets stacked on top of each other. The installation feels normal, the new filter threads on properly, everything seems fine. But here's the problem. Those stacked gaskets create an unstable seal. Modern synthetic oils operate under extreme pressure, up to 80 psi in high-performance engines. Double gaskets compress unevenly, creating stress points that fail catastrophically once the engine reaches operating temperature and pressure. When that seal fails, it doesn't leak slowly. All your oil dumps out in 30 to 90 seconds of highway driving. No warning lights, no gradual loss, just complete oil starvation and immediate engine destruction. The BMW we worked on required $14,000 in engine replacement costs because of a 15-second oversight. The prevention is simple but critical. Before installing any new filter, physically inspect the mounting surface with your finger. Feel around the entire rubber sealing surface. The old gasket must be completely removed. No exceptions, no shortcuts. If you find an old gasket stuck to the engine, carefully peel it off. Some stubborn gaskets require a plastic scraper, but never use metal tools that could damage the sealing surface. This 15-second check has prevented countless engine failures in our shop. It should be non-negotiable in your oil change routine. Mistake number 5, the torque specification disaster. This mistake costs American drivers over $200 million annually, and the tighter is better mentality destroys more oil pans than road debris and accidents combined. A DIY enthusiast in our area thought he was being extra careful with his 2018 Honda Civic. He'd invested in quality tools, premium oil, and genuine filters. But when it came time to reinstall the drain plug, he figured tighter was safer. He grabbed his impact wrench, the same tool that removes lug nuts, and gave that drain plug what he thought was a secure installation. The aluminum oil pan cracked instantly with a sound like a gunshot. What started as a $35 oil change became a $1,200 repair in 1 second of over-torquing. Modern engines use lightweight materials to save fuel and reduce emissions. Aluminum oil pans are standard on most vehicles because they're lighter than steel, conduct heat better, and don't rust. But aluminum has one critical weakness. It has no forgiveness for over-torquing. The proper torque specification for most passenger vehicle drain plugs is 25 to 30 foot-pounds. That's surprisingly light, about the same force you'd use to tighten a bicycle wheel. Aluminum oil pans start cracking at just 35 foot-pounds, and thread damage begins at 40. But here's what most people don't understand. Your hand strength naturally limits you to safe torque levels when using standard hand tools. A combination wrench or ratchet handle prevents you from applying dangerous force levels. Impact wrenches, however, can generate 300+ foot-pounds of torque in milliseconds. Using power tools on drain plugs is like using a sledgehammer to hang a picture. It's massive overkill that causes immediate, expensive damage. The correct procedure is straightforward. Use only hand tools for final drain plug installation. Thread it in by hand until the gasket contacts the oil pan surface, then tighten with a wrench. Snug plus 3/4 turn creates the proper seal without structural damage. I've seen drain plugs that were so over-torqued they welded themselves to the oil pan threads. Removal required drilling and thread repair, turning a routine maintenance item into a major repair job. Remember this, oil drain plugs don't need to be incredibly tight. They just need to be properly seated with an undamaged gasket, creating the actual seal. Proper torque prevents both leaks and cracks. Mistake number 4, the wrong oil viscosity epidemic. Using the wrong oil viscosity is like putting jet fuel in a lawnmower. It might run initially, but destruction is inevitable and expensive. Last year, a customer brought in his 2021 Honda Accord with a mysterious noise from the engine bay. At just 35,000 miles, he was hearing a subtle rattling that got worse under acceleration. Our diagnostic revealed timing chain stretch, a $3,500 repair on a relatively new car. During our consultation, he mentioned saving money by using conventional 10W30 instead of the Honda-specified 0W20 full synthetic. He'd been doing this for 2 years, saving about $25 per oil change. Those savings cost him over $3,000 in repairs. Here's why modern engines are so sensitive to oil viscosity. Today's engines operate with internal clearances that are 50% tighter than 1990s designs. We're talking about tolerances measured in thousandths of inches. Tolerances that require exactly the right oil thickness to maintain proper lubrication. Zero W20 oil flows like water when cold, allowing instant lubrication during startup. It maintains proper thickness at operating temperature while flowing easily through tiny passages that feed variable valve timing systems, turbocharger bearings, and timing chain tensioners. 10W30 oil is thicker at all temperatures. In a modern tight tolerance engine, this thicker oil can't flow properly through small passages. Timing chain tensioners don't receive adequate oil pressure, causing chain slack and eventual stretch. Variable valve timing systems malfunction, reducing power and fuel economy. The customer's Honda developed timing chain problems because the thicker oil couldn't maintain proper pressure in the tensioning system. Over months of driving, the chain gradually stretched beyond tolerance, requiring complete timing system replacement. Your owner's manual isn't a suggestion, it's an engineering requirement. When Honda specifies 0W20 for your engine, that's based on thousands of hours of testing with those exact tolerances and operating conditions. I've seen similar failures in Toyota, Nissan, and General Motors engines. Modern power plants are precision instruments that fail rapidly when lubrication specifications aren't met exactly. The few dollars you save on cheaper oil becomes thousands in repair costs. Always use the exact viscosity specified in your owner's manual. Full synthetic oils cost more upfront, but prevent expensive failures while often extending drain intervals, making them cost-effective long-term investments. Mistake number 3, the dry start catastrophe. Skipping this 30-second step increases bearing wear by 400% on every single startup. And it's the difference between 200,000-mile engines and early failures. A regular customer owned a 2018 Ford Mustang GT with the 5.0-liter Coyote V8. Beautiful car, meticulously maintained premium oil every 5,000 miles. But at just 38,000 miles, he started hearing a deep knocking sound from the bottom end during startup. Our diagnosis revealed rod bearing damage, the kind of wear pattern typically seen at 150,000 plus miles, not 38,000. When we investigated his maintenance routine, we found the culprit. He never pre-filled oil filters before installation. Here's what happens during a dry start. Your new oil filter holds between 8 and 12 ounces of oil capacity. That's a significant portion of your engine's total oil supply. When the filter is empty at startup, your oil pump has to fill that entire volume before building pressure in the engine. During those critical 5 to 8 seconds of pressure buildup, your engine bearings experience metal-to-metal contact. High-performance engines like the Coyote V8 have tight bearing clearances and high compression ratios that create extreme loads during startup. Every dry start causes microscopic bearing wear. Over thousands of startups, that cumulative damage adds up to premature bearing failure. The Mustang's rod bearings were scored and worn beyond specification because of repeated dry start conditions. The solution is simple. Fill new filters 75% with fresh oil before installation. Pour slowly to avoid air bubbles and don't overfill. You need space for the oil to expand without spilling during installation. Pre-filling eliminates dry start conditions by providing immediate oil pressure when you start the engine. This is absolutely critical for turbocharged engines, which rely on oil pressure for bearing lubrication and cooling. Some techs worry about spilling oil during filter installation, so they skip pre-filling. But spilling a few drops is infinitely preferable to bearing damage. Work carefully, use a funnel if needed, but never install an empty filter on any engine, especially high-performance applications. This simple step extends engine life dramatically. Engines with pre-filled filters regularly achieve 200,000 plus miles with original bearings, while dry start engines often fail prematurely with expensive bottom end damage. Mistake number 2, the oil level deception. This seemingly innocent timing mistake has destroyed more engines than all other oil change errors combined, and even meticulous owners fall victim to this deceptive reading. A corporate executive brought his 2019 Mercedes C300 to our shop with what he thought was a minor oil leak. Pristine maintenance records, dealer service history, premium synthetic oil changes every 7,500 miles exactly. But at 82,000 miles, his engine developed a serious rod bearing knock. During our consultation, he mentioned his meticulous routine. After every oil change, he immediately checked the oil level to ensure proper fill. The dipstick always showed full, so he thought everything was perfect. Here's what he didn't know. Checking oil immediately after an oil change gives you a completely false reading. When you shut off the engine after adding fresh oil, that oil doesn't instantly settle into the oil pan. Modern engines have complex internal passages, oil galleries, and chambers that hold significant amounts of oil. It takes 5 to 10 minutes for oil to drain from these areas back to the pan where the dipstick measures it. If you check immediately, the dipstick reads the oil level in the pan plus all the oil still sitting in the engine's upper areas. You get a false high reading that can be half a quart or more above actual level. For 2 years, this Mercedes owner operated with chronic low oil. Not dangerously low, but consistently half a quart under specification. Modern engines require precise oil quantities for proper bearing lubrication, oil pump pickup, and cooling. That chronic underfill gradually caused bearing wear that eventually led to catastrophic failure. The correct procedure is straightforward. After completing your oil change, wait minimum 5 minutes with the engine off. Check on level ground with the car sitting normally. The oil must reach the full mark on the dipstick, not just the minimum line. Many people think operating between minimum and maximum is acceptable, but modern engines perform best at the full mark. That extra oil capacity provides better lubrication during acceleration, prevents oil starvation during cornering, and ensures adequate cooling for high-stress operation. I've diagnosed dozens of premature bearing failures caused by chronic low oil operation. Owners thought they were being careful by checking regularly, but improper timing gave them false confidence while their engines slowly destroyed themselves. Accurate oil level checking prevents thousands in bearing damage and ensures your engine gets the lubrication it was designed for. Mistake number 1, the maintenance interval ignorance crisis. The number 1 engine killer isn't mechanical failure or manufacturing defects. It's maintenance interval ignorance that's silently destroying engines across America, and following the manual isn't always enough. A retired gentleman brought his 2017 Toyota Highlander to our shop with 98,000 miles and a completely sludged engine. Perfect maintenance records, dealer service, 10,000-mile intervals using Toyota's recommended full synthetic oil. He'd followed the manual to the letter, yet his engine was destroyed by thick black sludge that looked like road tar. When we discussed his driving patterns, the problem became clear. Daily 3-mile trips to the grocery store, church, and doctor's office. Short drives in city traffic with lots of stoplights. His engine never reached full operating temperature, and the oil never got hot enough to burn off moisture and fuel contamination. This is called severe service operation, and 75% of American drivers qualify without realizing it. Severe service includes short trips under 10 miles that don't reach full operating temperature. Stop-and-go traffic that prevents highway speed oil circulation. Extreme temperatures, both hot and cold climates, accelerate oil breakdown. Dusty conditions that introduce more contamination. Frequent idling during construction zones or school pickups. Under severe service conditions, oil breaks down twice as fast as manufacturer testing assumes. Their lab tests use simulated highway driving with engines reaching full operating temperature and staying there for extended periods. The Toyota's short trip pattern meant the oil never got hot enough to evaporate moisture from combustion. Water in the oil creates acidic compounds that attack seals and metal surfaces. Fuel dilution from cold starts gradually broke down the oil's lubricating properties. After 2 years of following manufacturer recommendations under severe service conditions, the engine developed sludge so thick it blocked oil passages completely. The repair estimate exceeded $8,000, more than the vehicle's value. Severe service requires 50% shorter intervals than standard recommendations. If manufacturer specs call for 10,000 miles, severe service drivers should change at 5,000 miles maximum. For conventional oil, reduce from 5,000 to 3,000 miles. Most quick lube shops won't tell you this because shorter intervals mean more frequent visits and higher profits for them. But they'd rather sell you more oil changes than explain why your driving conditions require them. Know your driving patterns. If you make short trips, drive in traffic, or live in extreme climates, you're operating under severe service conditions regardless of what the manual says. Adjust your intervals accordingly, or watch your engine slowly destroy itself one oil change at a time. Here's what I install on every car I personally own and what shops rarely recommend because it reduces their long-term profit. Magnetic drain plugs. Standard drain plugs are just threaded bolts with gaskets. Magnetic drain plugs contain powerful, rare earth magnets that capture microscopic metal particles too small for any oil filter to catch. These particles from normal engine wear, startup friction, and component break-in act like liquid sandpaper circulating through your oil. I pulled a magnetic drain plug for my personal vehicle after 5,000 miles and found enough metal shavings to fill a tablespoon. Those particles would have circulated through bearings, cylinder walls, and valve guides, causing gradual wear that shortens engine life. Installation cost ranges from $15 to $25. Potential savings run into the thousands through extended engine life. The magnetic collection also serves as an early warning system. Excessive metal on the plug indicates internal wear before it becomes catastrophic, giving you time to investigate and address problems. Professional shops don't promote magnetic drain plugs because they extend engine life and reduce the frequency of major repairs, but any technician working on their own vehicle uses them religiously. Quality magnetic drain plugs are available for virtually every vehicle. They install exactly like standard plugs with identical torque specifications. This simple upgrade pays for itself by extending engine life and providing early wear detection. Now that you understand these 7 critical mistakes, there's another area where you're being deceived every single day at the gas pump. Gas stations use psychological tricks and mechanical deceptions that cost you money on every fill-up, and most drivers have no idea it's happening. Watch this video where I expose the fuel myths you still believe and reveal the pump trigger scam that's been draining your wallet for years. I'll show you the hidden techniques gas stations use to manipulate how much you pay, plus the simple tricks that can save you hundreds annually on fuel costs. If this video prevented a costly mistake, subscribe to Car Care Simplified. I release professional-grade automotive knowledge every week that most mechanics keep to themselves. Hit the notification bell so you never miss critical information that protects your investment and keeps you safely on the road. Your engine is your most expensive automotive component. Protect it with knowledge.